Color is all around us. It makes us feel. We use it to express ourselves. Some colors give us a sense of comfort, some a sense of fear. As life moves faster and faster day by day, we crave comfort, the feeling of the past, the warmth of nostalgia. This craving begins to infect our creativity, and before we know it, the craving turns to obsession. We spend long days and restless nights trying to figure out how we can add a layer of nostalgia to our work, how we can make the viewer feel that warmth that sparked the obsession in the first place. And it all leads to one thing: film is what we seek. Only film isn't accessible or practical for many creatives. Developing time, cost, and the technical skills required to shoot motion picture film make it feel impossible to achieve that feeling. Well, impossible until you find one thing: digital film emulation. The colors, the grain, the charm, it's all there. You found the cheat code to achieve what you once thought was impossible: a feeling.
Hey y'all, it's Jonah. Now, silly cinematic intros aside, if you're anything like me, you've been absolutely obsessed with trying to find a way to emulate the look, but more importantly, the feeling of film in your video and photo work. Now, I've tried countless LUTs and apps and presets and even cameras to try and get this look and feel, and I've found really great options for photo, but everything I always tried for video, I always found to be a little bit lacking. They never really hit the aesthetic I was going for and never really felt authentic. All my research always led back to plugins by Dehancer. I've been wanting to try their products for a while now, so I was so excited when they reached out to me to try Dehancer for myself. Now, full disclosure, Dehancer did provide me with the plugins that I'm testing in this video. However, they will not see this video before I upload it, as well as they encouraged me to share my honest opinions and share them regardless of if they're positive or negative. I also wanted to note that I am by no means a color grading expert. I am just a photographer on YouTube with a film grain obsession. So my experience using Dehancer is very much from the perspective of a color grading beginner. Also, I'm going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro for this project, because that's what I edit all my videos in. I was very excited to check out the plugin for Premiere specifically, but I wanted to note that it is available for DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro as well. So really, no matter what software you use, you have a chance to try it out for yourself. I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, which often gets a bad rap for its color grading abilities, which I've kind of understood. Even though I'm pretty new to color grading, I get that Lumetri color is not ideal for getting real in-depth or getting creative looks with a Premiere Pro, especially when you're trying to get like the nice film look. Which is why I was just so pleasantly surprised to see how quick and easy it is to add Dehancer to any of your clips in. But there's actually two different ways we can do this. We can add it directly to the clip itself, or we can add an adjustment layer to our timeline and do it that way. So if we want to do just this clip, what we're going to do is go over to our effects, and we're going to look up Dehancer Pro right there, drag and drop that bad boy right there onto our clip, and it pops up in our effect controls. Okay, so once we've applied Dehancer to our clip, you can already see that it's given a film grain effect to the clip, but we're gonna dial that in just a little bit. So first we wanna start with input. So it has converted our S-Log3 footage into just a generic Rec 709 conversion. But we can go click choose camera, and now this is like magic to me. Now we can go through and select our specific camera, and they have a pretty good selection. I mean, not every camera out there that shoots log is on this list, but all of the cameras I own that I shoot log in are on here. The Osmo Pocket 3, the Fujifilm X100 right there I can shoot F-Log2 and then easily convert it here with Dehancer. But this camera that I shot this whole project with and I'm using right now is the Sony a7C II, and I filmed in S-Log3 Cine. Just like that, it's converted it to Rec 709. It is like magic. Okay, so for the sake of showing you some different effects, I'm actually going to go down to film grain, and we're going to turn that off. Now we can dial in the film grain settings later, but we're going to turn it off just so we can focus on kind of the color and film aesthetic that we're going for. So right here we have it in Kodak Vision 3 250D, D for daylight, or we can pick T for tungsten. I usually like to go for Kodak Vision tungsten. Just, it's a nice, just slightly warm, kind of nostalgic Kodak look. I love it. To me, it's that like secret sauce when it comes to picking different film stocks. But as you can see, you have a very wide variety of film stock that you can choose from. And like, if we're talking about like legendary film stocks, like right here, we have Fujicolor Natura, which is one of the ones that I shoot in body on the Fujifilm X100 VI. Like, you can do it right here with any camera that shoots log. Okay, so if you know you want to go with one general film stock and look for multiple clips, a very easy way to edit is we can just go and create a new adjustment layer. Make sure you have the proper parameters of your timeline. And what we're gonna do is we are just gonna throw that right there, drag it across these first few clips. And then now we can go back and drag, drop Dehancer onto that adjustment layer. And like magic, we have it again. Okay, so now that we've put it on an adjustment layer, you can see it's already on all of these clips. So again, if I get rid of that adjustment layer, you can see it in log versus graded. Like, it's so simple, and that's with just a couple clicks of adding the film effect. It's just so nice. So if you're trying to dig deep into like the stylized film look, a good way to do that is adding bloom. That's where you get that kind of like dreamy, hazy effect on your highlights in certain parts of the frame. Now you can actually go through and you can tweak the bloom as much as you want to dial it into whatever look you want. This is really cool to me because, like, if you can easily and conveniently add bloom to your shots like this in Premiere or post-production with whatever software you're using, you don't have to carry a mist filter around with you. Just like that, without playing around with our footage for too long, we're able to get a fun stylized film look on any of these S-Log3 clips. Now, I don't want to go too in-depth on the little features of the plugin because I really want to encourage you to try out the software yourself. There is a 7-day free trial available for any of Dehancer's plugins, and I would highly recommend just giving it a shot yourself and seeing how it plays into your workflow and how you're able to build an aesthetic that you really want for your videos. After using that free trial and figuring out if it works for you, if you do decide to buy the plugin, the fine folks over at Dehancer actually gave me a discount code that y'all can use for 10% off. Just used code Jonah at checkout, and that'll get you 10% off and help out the channel just a little bit. It'd be much appreciated. So through the whole journey of being obsessed with trying to find good film emulation and really just film vibes for the things that I post on Instagram and on socials, I have used a lot of different phone apps for adding film grain or different film emulation onto my photos, whether they're photos I take on my phone or on my main camera and send to my phone to post on Instagram stories, send to friends, things like that. And I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that Dehancer also offers a iOS app. It is a separate subscription from the plugin services, which are all one-time purchases, by the way. It's really as simple as just finding a picture in your camera roll, clicking it, and then you have a whole suite of editing options. Really simple, but you get that good, authentic film emulation that you get with the big desktop plugin. After using Dehancer for a few weeks now, I feel pretty good about saying that it's going to be a part of my color workflow indefinitely. I love the look you can get so easily using the plugin. And what was a pleasant surprise for me is I find myself, even on client projects that I don't want a heavy film grain or film aesthetic with, I still find myself going towards some of the Kodak and Fuji color profiles that are available in Dehancer, just as like a base level conversion from S-Log to Rec 709. Lately, I've been working on a documentary project for one of my clients, and while I can't share the footage on YouTube yet, I've been very pleasantly surprised with working Dehancer into my workflow for documentary interviews. It just gives such a nice look. Now, it's not all perfect. There are definitely some setbacks with using a plugin like Dehancer, and the biggest one for me is performance. When I'm color grading using Dehancer, once I've added like bloom, halation, and film grain, just multiple effects, it does bog the system down just a little bit, and in one case has caused a crash. Now, please take that with a grain of salt, because that could just be my setup. I'm running an M4 Mac Mini hooked up to a NAS, so there are occasionally some connection issues that make Premiere a little wonky. While there is a fantastic selection of film stocks available in Dehancer, I would love to see some additional creative or more stylized looks, whether that's just presets or new film stocks entirely. I would love to see some added styles in the future that are plug and play just as easy as the film styles that are already there. Now, overall, as someone with little color grading experience, I really like Dehancer and highly recommend you checking it out for yourself. Especially take advantage of that 7-day free trial to see if it works with your style and your projects. But overall, I'm happy with it, and I see myself using it for a lot of my content and YouTube videos moving forward. With that being said, thank you so much to Dehancer for sending me the plugins to test out for this video, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you want to continue to keep up with my creative endeavors, consider subscribing to this channel so you see the next time I make a little video like this.